Thank you very much, Mr. Duffy. Let me just say to Mr. Wright, I appreciate you being here and sharing with us how FEMA works. You're in an untenable position. You were asked by Mr. Duffy, what is your plan for reduction of the debt? I wish you could have told him there is no such thing as a plan for the reduction of the debt. We're paying $4 billion a year on this debt. The Congress of the United States of America will have to make a decision about this. And I don't know what my colleagues are thinking, but you know I use the word forgiveness. I really do believe that we need to forgive this debt. This agency needs a revolution, and it starts with forgiving the debt. There's no way that you could plan to forgive this debt by raising the premiums or doing some of the other things that you say that you do in order to come up with premium costs. You talk about loss claims data, future expected losses. You can redo that 1,000 times, but it's not going to reduce this debt. And so I'm going to be working very hard to try and convince my colleagues that we need to really, really step up to the plate and deal with this issue and this issue of debt. Having said that, when I talk about a revolution, in addition to forgiving the debt, I think the members of Congress really do need to understand all of the calculations that go into determining premiums. You talk about loss claims data, and there seems to be some misunderstanding about whether or not you're actually using this. I heard the questioning on this issue, and it sounded as if you said that's part of it. We don't know how much of that is taken into consideration. I heard you talk about future expected losses. How much of that? How is that calculated? Is this truly scientific? On and on and on. I would like to say to the chairman of this committee, who's sitting here, that we need to have a special task force on flood insurance alone, so that you would be able to take the agency apart, working with the members of the special task force to understand how you come up with your calculations. And I think that if we started out anew with these premium costs, we could correct a lot of things. You know, there's been problems with mapping historically. And my staff just brought me a copy of a press release that we did about a mapping area in Los Angeles that I got involved in 2010, where we worked with FEMA, and FEMA changed because when they took a look at what the citizens were complaining about and the whole area and the fact that it never had a flood, on and on and on, when they gave consideration to all of these things, they changed their mind about the way that that mapping had taken place. The other thing that I discovered in working on this issue was, I know that you send the notices or information to the cities. And the cities have an opportunity to raise questions, to talk with the community, but oftentimes they don't do anything. You send that information to the cities and it just goes into a file somewhere. And the citizens don't get an opportunity to really have the cities working with them to bring their concerns to you. And so for all of these reasons, I think that we really do need to have this this change, this big change, this revolution. Now, on top of all of my concerns, and even what we did after we changed our minds about Biggert Waters and we came up with the repeal, we didn't treat those small businesses right. And everybody on this committee claims to be concerned about our small businesses, but yet, when we take a look back at what we did and what their responsibility is in terms of premium costs, it really must be corrected. Now, on top of that, you had nothing to do with this, but to fund the border wall. Trump administration weighs cuts to Coast Guard, airport security. Your name is not in the headline, but The proposal drawn by the Office of Management and Budget would also slash the budget of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, which provides disaster relief after hurricanes, tornadoes, and other natural disasters. The Coast Guard, $9.1 billion. In 2017 would be cut 14% to about $7.8 billion. The TSA and FEMA budgets would be reduced about 11% each to $4.5 billion and $3.6 billion. This is outrageous and unconscionable. And so, Mr. Chairman, I hope that you're listening and you're going to take this into consideration. You can pound all you want.
You are over your time, Ranking Member.
The ranking member would respectfully request and unanimous consent for 30 more seconds.
Without objection.
Thank you so very
This
much.
is so compelling.
I just wanted the 30 seconds to say that you now have a big responsibility. And you asked the question of Mr. Wright when he came in about what he was going to do to reduce the debt. I hope that you've paid attention so that you know that all he can do is continue to pay that $4 billion every year on this outrageous debt. And I hope that you're hearing some of us when we ask you to take consideration for eliminating this debt. These are natural disasters, and our taxpayers deserve better. And I don't intend to sit here and work on any increased premiums. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman.